Before anything else, bro, I need you to hear me clearly. If she picks someone else, I know exactly what you're feeling right now. That gut-wrenching punch deep in your chest, that sharp sting of rejection, that overwhelming sense that you've been replaced. Like someone else just slid right into your spot in her life, like you were disposable, like your love and everything you gave didn't matter. You're sitting there, mind racing, heart aching, asking yourself over and over, what did he have that I didn't? What made him better? And that question can tear you apart if you let it. But here's a truth nobody ever tells you, and it's one you need to hold on to. It was never about him, and it's not really about you either. This isn't some contest or a game where someone wins and someone loses. It's about her, her values, her timing, her own unfinished journey, the battles she still needs to fight on her own. You didn't lose her because you weren't enough. You lost her because she chose a path that you were never meant to walk with her. It's painful, but it's also freeing. The hardest thing you'll ever do is to watch her walk away without chasing after her. To sit still when your instincts scream to run, to hold your peace when your heart wants to shout. But that is also the most powerful thing you can do. Not because you're pretending to be okay or because you've gotten over it, but because you finally reached a place where you love yourself enough not to bleed for someone who looked the other way. You're done begging for a seat at a table that she cleared for someone else. This is where real strength lives, in the quiet decision to choose your own peace over the pain of chasing what's no longer meant for you. You're not giving up, you're rising up. And trust me, bro, that kind of love for yourself will build you back stronger than anything you've ever known. Point 1, when she leaves, don't rush to fill the silence. Embrace it. When she walks away and chooses someone else, the first reaction that hits most men is an overwhelming urge to fill the emptiness she leaves behind. Maybe you reach out to a friend in the middle of the night, desperate for someone to listen. Maybe you throw yourself into the arms of another woman, trying to numb the ache with physical connection. Or perhaps you post something on social media, something vague but loud enough to say, I'm okay, when deep down you know you're far from it. But here's the truth about that silence she leaves. It's not a punishment, and it's certainly not a void to be hurriedly filled. It's an invitation to finally sit with the person you've been running from, yourself. Imagine being at a party where the music is blaring, people are talking over each other, laughter and noise fill every corner. Then suddenly, everyone leaves. The music stops, the noise fades, and you're left standing in complete silence, alone with your thoughts. It's uncomfortable, unfamiliar, and even a little frightening. But in that silence, something important happens. You begin to hear what you couldn't before. The voice inside you that was drowned out by the chaos, the fears, the hopes, the pain, and the truth you've been avoiding. That silence is sacred because it gives you space to reconnect with who you really are. Not the man who was consumed by loving someone else, not the man bending over backward trying to be enough for her, but the man who now has to learn how to love and respect himself first. This is the moment where healing starts. Not with words or distractions, but with stillness and reflection. Don't be in a rush to cover that silence with noise or to plaster a fake smile over your pain. Don't reach for anything to distract yourself from the rawness. Let that silence stretch. Let it reverberate through every part of you. If it breaks you down, let it, because only when you break can you rebuild something stronger. It's in that quiet, in that empty space that you begin to see your true worth clearly again, unfiltered by heartbreak or confusion. This silence isn't a void to fear. It's a crucible where you forge the foundation of your new self. And when you learn to sit with it without running away, you'll find that it's not loneliness, it's freedom. Freedom to grow, to heal, and to become the man you were always meant to be. Quick break. Close your eyes for a second. Picture her, the girl you've always wanted. Feel what it would be like to actually have her. Now open your eyes, because here's the truth. Right now, you're invisible to her. You're getting outcompeted by guys with more money, better looks, higher status, and stronger game. You're playing a rigged game, and you're losing. But I've spent the last 35 years mastering this, studying, testing, and finally finding the secrets to get the girls I always wanted. You want to stop getting ignored? You want her chasing you? Then you need to wake up and act. Click the link in the comments if you are truly committed and take the first step toward becoming that guy. Few spots left. Be fast or miss out your last chance to make her yours. Let's get back to it. Point 2. Stop comparing yourself to the man she chose. Bro, I know this one hits hard. When she chooses someone else, your mind immediately spirals into that exhausting, toxic game of comparison. You find yourself wondering, what does he have that I don't? Is he taller, richer, more charming, smoother? Is he somehow better in ways you can't measure? And suddenly, every ounce of confidence you had begins to crumble. You start doubting your worth, your value, and everything that made you you. It's natural to feel this way, but you've got to stop right there and listen. You were never in competition with this guy. Not really. What you see on the surface is only half the story, and you don't know the full picture. You don't know his flaws, his insecurities, or the battles he fights behind closed doors. No one ever really does. She didn't choose him because you were lacking. She chose him because she is in a place right now where he fits her story better, her timing, her needs, her unresolved journey. That's on her, not you. The danger is that the more you compare yourself to him, the more you lose sight of what truly makes you unshakable. Your value is not tied to her recognition of it. It doesn't fade just because someone else couldn't see it or didn't appreciate it. You're not an object to be judged against another like you're some item on a shelf waiting to be picked. You're a man with depth, with heart, with unwavering standards and self-respect, and if she failed to recognize that, then it's her loss, not your identity. Here's the real power move. Stop chasing the illusion that you need to be better than him to win her back. Because even if you try to match or surpass what he brings, that wouldn't change the truth of who she is or where she's at in life. She's on her own path and you're on yours. The more you spend energy comparing yourself, the more you give away your power to someone who already chose a different direction. Instead, refocus that energy on yourself. Build on the foundation of your worth and know deep in your bones that you don't need anyone else to validate it. The right woman, one who truly sees you, will value your loyalty, your strength, your kindness, and your heart, and she won't need to compare you to anyone else to know that you're enough. Point 3. Don't let her memory rewrite the truth. Here's what happens to a lot of guys, bro. After she's gone, when the silence settles and the dust starts to clear, you start looking back through rose-colored lenses. You begin painting this picture in your mind that the whole relationship was perfect, that she was this sweet, loving, almost angelic woman who you couldn't live without. You romanticize the past so much that losing her suddenly feels like the biggest mistake of your life. But listen closely, man. Don't lie to yourself. You remember those nights when she made you feel like you weren't enough, right? Those moments when she pulled away just enough to make you question your worth and wonder what you did wrong. You were the one holding it all together, steady and strong, while she kept testing the boundaries of how far you'd bend and stretch to keep her close. Now that she's gone, it's easy to only remember the highlights, the soft voice that once soothed you, the laughs you shared, the way she looked at you in rare moments of warmth. But that's not the full story. It's only a part of it, and it's dangerous to let those memories twist the truth. Because if she had truly seen you, truly valued you, she wouldn't have felt the need to look elsewhere. You didn't lose something perfect, bro. What you lost was something that was already breaking, something that needed to end for both of you to have a chance to find real peace and growth. Don't get caught in the trap of glorifying what was. Hold on to the reality of what is. That clarity will set you free to move on, to heal, and to find the kind of love that doesn't make you question your worth or your place. Point 4. Her absence is not rejection, it's redirection. Listen, I get it. It hurts. It feels like the ultimate rejection, like she looked at you, then looked at him, and made a decision that somehow says you weren't enough, like you suddenly became invisible, unwanted, replaceable. But bro, that's just not the truth. Her walking away isn't a statement about your worth or your value. It's simply a sign that your paths weren't meant to stay aligned any longer. Maybe you were growing, evolving into a better version of yourself, while she was still stuck in old patterns or fears that kept her from moving forward. Maybe you were ready to build, to commit, to create something lasting, and she was still chasing chaos, excitement, or a story she wasn't ready to close. The reasons don't matter as much as this. Her choice was hers, not a reflection of your inadequacy. Don't let her decision become a label you wear, a wound that shapes how you see yourself or your future. Think about the times in your life when you desperately wanted something, only to later realize that missing out on it was the best thing that ever happened to you. How many times have you escaped a relationship, a job, or a situation that you thought you needed, only to find out you were actually saving yourself? This moment, painful as it is the same kind of blessing in disguise. Her choosing another man, as brutal as it feels now, is actually redirecting you. It's sending you back to your own path, your own vision, your own standards, the things that truly matter for your growth and happiness. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. It's a reset, a chance to realign with who you really are and who you're meant to be with. And trust me, one day, maybe sooner than you expect, you'll look back and be grateful that it happened, because this detour will have led you straight to something better, something real, something worthy of the man you are becoming. Point 5. Never chase a woman who chooses another. Choose yourself instead. Listen closely, man. The moment she walks away and chooses someone else, that gut-wrenching feeling hits hard. It's like your whole world shifts and your mind screams to fight back, to prove that you're better, stronger, the one who truly deserved her. You want to make her regret her decision, to show her exactly what she lost by walking away. But here's the reality that so many miss. The second you start chasing her after she's made her choice, you're no longer standing for love. You're sacrificing your own dignity and self-respect. Chasing someone who's already chosen another isn't a sign of strength. It's a sign that you've lost sight of your own worth. You don't chase what disrespects you. You don't beg to be seen, to be valued, or to be loved, because that isn't love. It's desperation wrapped in hope, and that kind of hope only leaves you empty. What real strength looks like is the exact opposite. It's turning that pain and energy inward. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, hitting the gym, grinding hard on your goals, prioritizing your mental peace, and surrounding yourself with people who lift you up. Real self-worth isn't loud or needy. It's calm, steady, and rooted deep in your own truth. It's the power to say, if she couldn't see me when I was giving everything, then she doesn't deserve to watch me rise. She made her choice. She walked away. That's her decision and her loss. But you? You refuse to let that choice define you. You don't crumble, you don't shrink, and you don't chase shadows. You stand tall, knowing that your value isn't determined by someone else's inability to recognize it. Choosing yourself over chasing her isn't just about pride, it's about reclaiming your power and protecting your heart. Because the man who chases after someone who's already gone will always be chasing an illusion. But the man who chooses himself, he's the one who becomes unstoppable. Point 6. Detach from the fantasy. Accept the reality. Listen, bro, here's a hard truth you need to hear. Most of the pain you're feeling right now isn't really about her. It's about the version of her you built in your mind. The perfect image you created, the potential you imagined, the what could have been, and those soft, unforgettable moments that felt like they'd last forever. You're not holding on to the real woman who walked away. You're holding on to a fantasy, an idea, a dream, a story you told yourself to keep from facing the truth. But reality is much harsher. She chose someone else. She made her move. And no matter how much you wish it weren't true, no matter how many times you replay the past in your mind, clinging to that image is only keeping you stuck. The longer you hold on to the fantasy, the longer your heart stays tangled in a story that's already ended. The moment you start to let go of who you wanted her to be, you open the door to healing. You start to see who she actually was. Not perfect, not always loving, not necessarily the one for you. And that can sting. It's painful to admit that the person you loved so deeply wasn't the person who could love you back the way you deserved. But here's the power in that pain. It clears the fog. It washes away the illusions and lies your heart told itself to survive. Once that fog lifts, you see clearly. What was real, what was genuine, and what was just your heart desperately holding on to something already gone. You can't move forward, bro, if you're still in love with a shadow, a memory, a dream. You have to detach. Let that fantasy die so the truth can set you free. And when you finally do, You'll find space in your heart not just for healing, but for something real, something better, something that's actually meant for you. Point 7. Let your growth be the goodbye. Here's the raw truth that nobody prepares you for when she walks away. You weren't replaced. You were simply overlooked. She didn't find someone better. She found someone different. And in this moment, that new person might feel like an upgrade to her. But that's exactly what it is, an illusion. Because real value, real love, real respect, those aren't things most people recognize in the heat of the moment. They only see it clearly later in the quiet aftermath, when the dust settles, when the new guy's charm fades, when the excitement dies down and the initial spark dims. That's when she'll remember you. She'll think back to your calm in the storm, your steady presence when everything else felt shaky, your loyalty that never wavered even when she tested the limits. These are not easy qualities to replace. You weren't some quick fix or a temporary thrill. You were the real deal. You were a foundation, not a phase. And yes, you were taken for granted, but that's not your burden to carry. Your job is not to prove your worth to her or to anyone else. Your job is to live your worth every single day, regardless of who notices. Let her learn the hard way, because some lessons are only understood through absence. Let her discover that fun and chaos don't always equal fulfillment. That new isn't always better, just different and often fleeting. The right woman, the one who is truly meant for you, will never overlook or undervalue your consistency, your depth, your heart. She will appreciate the quiet strength you bring, the loyalty that runs deeper than surface level excitement. And the wrong woman? She'll only realize what she had once you're gone, once you've moved on, once you've built a life and a peace she can't touch or disrupt. That's the bitter truth of love lost and lessons learned. But don't let bitterness take root in your heart. Instead, let this be a moment of clarity, of growth, and of healing. Remember this, you were never meant to be for everyone. Not every door is meant to stay open, and not every chapter is meant to have a happy ending. The fact that she didn't choose you doesn't mean you weren't enough. It means she wasn't the right one for your journey. She wasn't meant to walk beside you, and that's okay. Let her go, not with anger or resentment, but with acceptance and peace. She made her choice, and now it's time for you to make yours. Choose peace. Choose your growth. Choose yourself. If this message resonates with you and you're walking through this right now, drop this in the comments so I know you're still standing strong. I choose peace. Until next time, stay grounded, stay focused, and above all, never forget your value is permanent. It is not up for debate. It is not something to be earned or given away. It simply is. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. If this message spoke to you or gave you something to think about, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new drop. I've got more real talk, more growth, and more power coming your way. So stay locked in. And if you're going through something right now, just remember, your silence can say more than 1,000 words ever could. Take care of yourself, keep rising, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.